Hello and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Jaye. I'm a general practitioner here in the UK, and I'll be bringing information to you in an easy to understand way. Stay tuned as we delve into the topic for today. A lot of us know so much about it, but I'll be speaking from the angle of midlife, especially for women. Who are in midlife and who struggle to sleep. Today, I'm going to give you, let's see, 5 reasons why you're not sleeping well in midlife. In midlife, i- sleep is such an important pillar for our well being. When we're not sleeping well, it affects us physically, affects us mentally, and even cognitively. Some people have like a brain fog when they haven't slept well and they're not able to make decisions or do things the way they would normally do it. For instance, I was watching a program called Awake, and some groups of people had to stay awake for 24 hours. And after that, they needed to do some skills that involved hand-eye coordination, thinking about the decisions they have to make. And that is very, very, very difficult to do if you haven't slept well at all. And my hope is that I can encourage you and empower you to begin to lay good, solid foundations in your midlife that would help you to live a happy and meaningful life even unto old age. So stay tuned as I dive into today's topic. 5 reasons why you're not sleeping well in midlife. The first thing is hormonal fluctuations. No doubt about it. When you begin to approach midlife, the way your body produces hormones changes. Your body is not producing, or a woman's body does not produce enough estrogen like it did when she was younger. And also, there's also the progesterone. These hormones kind of fluctuates and they affect the sleep. And apart from that, apart from affecting the sleep, estrogen in particular affects the temperature control in the body. It's not unusual for people to struggle to sleep for various reasons, one of which is the temperature. Some people find that one moment they are hot and then the next moment they are cold, and this keeps changing from one place to the other. One moment they are putting on their bed cover, and the next moment they're taking it off, they're opening the window, and all of this disrupts the sleep pattern. Some studies have actually found that estrogen can actually affect the quality of sleep in terms of how people actually fall asleep, but also how often they kind of wake up at night. Really, it's always a delicate time for women. And in such a time like this, women have so many responsibilities, their children, their aging parents, their career, the social transformations that is happening around them. It's always such an important time. And if you are in this category, make sure you seek help. Assess your situation, know where you are, and try to get help. Don't suffer in silence. Now, the second reason is the sleep hormone called melatonin. And generally speaking, as we all age, the levels of these hormones drop in the bloodstream, and this can affect how we sleep. We just don't sleep like babies anymore, unfortunately. Again, there are treatments for this, and it's always good to seek help before you buy medications from over the counter that you know nothing about. But yes, there are biological reasons why you can't sleep. Don't blame yourself. Don't say you're doing everything. There are some reasons why you may find that you're not really sleeping. Now, the third thing, which is very, very big in midlife from my experience, is mood changes. Now, a number of women suffer with anxiety, depression, and some of this can be very difficult to explain for some women. And some women don't actually have this anxiety or depression, but suddenly they just notice that they have a lot of swings, mood swings from one extreme to the other. And the aftermath is that when they then get home at night, they begin to feel so intensely guilty about what has happened. And this worry and analyzing and over analyzing and second guessing themselves begin to have an impact on their sleep. Suddenly the pillow becomes a place of worry. And that shouldn't be. That's something that can be dealt with, once it is recognized. So if you do realize that you are beginning to use your pillow as a place of worry or a place of analysis, you are running through the board meeting on your pillow, oh yes, that is where you really need to assess your situation, address the situation, alert yourself, align yourself back to what you should be doing in bed, which is actually having a rest. Put those worries aside, have a journal or something along those lines to write your worries in, or say to yourself, I will pick this up from tomorrow. Right now is the time to sleep, and leave it aside. The number four thing, and it's quite a big chunk of why many people don't sleep, are medical problems. And these medical problems can range from things like restless legs, where people just move their legs even whilst they are in bed for no reason at all. Every couple of seconds, maybe in a minute, they are moving it like that. It can be quite disruptive to sleeping, not just for themselves but for their partners as well. They are not able to sleep, and obviously this can affect, like I said, the physical, their mental, their cognition, their intellect as well. So it's really important to explore these issues, medical issues that may be affecting sleeping. And one thing I have found in my practice is that when women are approaching midlife, they begin to have heavy periods. These heavy periods cause iron deficiency, and iron deficiency anemia is one of the reasons why people have restless leg syndrome. One of the things I always recommend or encourage people to do is to have a blood test to check they don't have iron deficiency. And if this is found, it can be treated. The other reason or the other medical problems could be something we call obstructive sleep apnea or OSA. When this happens, it is a struggle with getting air through the airway, partly due to raised body mass index. And some studies have found that actually some people with low testosterone may have similar problems as well. Essentially, in midlife, women gain weight, unfortunately. Or you can address these issues from early on. You don't want to wait till when you start gaining weight before you begin to take action. Why don't you begin to address all those simple lifestyle factors that can have an impact on how you maintain your weight right from an early start, right from the beginning of your midlife years? I always recommend to people, once you're age 35, you should have a schedule for your exercise, for your eating, for your sleeping, for managing stress. Those four things need to have be in your schedule once you clock 35 or 40. And if you're one of those women who have had your children late, then one of the things I recommend is, once your children are getting to that age of 3, 4, or 5, even at any other age, just begin to create a habit of looking after yourself in every single way. Obstructive sleep apnea is a big cause of difficulty sleeping. And if you do feel you're in that category, try to seek help, try and get help, try and get help, try and get help. I always say to people, there are people willing to help you out there. And finally, the last one I have to say today is lifestyle factors. Midlife. Midlife is a time where there is a lot of stress for a lot of people from many fronts, from the work front, from family front, from career, from society. There is a lot of major responsibilities many people begin to take on in midlife. It's really important to explore all of these factors. Sit down, ask yourself, reflect, and see what could be happening. Are you taking on too many responsibilities? Do you have your hands in many pies that you're struggling, and they're all demanding time? Some of these things require your capacity and capabilities. Look at it, look at the stress factor, your trigger points, but also movement. I always talk about movement. I love walking, and it's always important to look at how you move during the day, because this adds up to how well you sleep at night. Talking about sleep, I know some people sleep during the day, and one of the things that happens is you reduce your sleep pressure. It's really important to keep that pressure on through the day, so that at night time you have your tank full ready to sleep. One of the ways to keep the tank full during the day, your sleep tank full, is to make sure you're getting some movement in, take some steps, dig the garden, carry some shopping bags. I know some of us will like that. But also, the other reason why people don't sleep well is erratic sleep schedules. One day you're sleeping at 12, another day you're sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning, some days you're sleeping at 8. It's good to have a specific bedtime and wake up time. Your body clock works better that way, otherwise, it's going to become very confused. I always encourage, even if you don't have the habits, try to develop that habit. And there's never a good time not to start it. If you don't have the habit, you can start it anytime. I know many people in midlife also suffer with loneliness, particularly when the kids are grown and they've left the empty nest syndrome. It's really important to, as you advance, begin to explore opportunities to be in friendship groups, communities that interest you, whether it's things like running, cycling, gardening, anything of volunteering. Try to find yourself within groups that you can grow and nurture each other. There you are. Today, I have talked about the 5 possible reasons why women don't sleep well in midlife. And we've talked about the hormonal changes. We've talked about the changes in the levels of melatonin. We've talked about the mood changes that can happen. We've talked about medical factors and also finally lifestyle factors. If you want to hear more about this, why don't you listen to my podcast where you will get a bit more information about our sleep. And also, there are lots of my colleagues that I can recommend either their books or their clinics. But for more information, why don't you look below in the link below? All right. Thank you very much for listening. Take care. We will see. Bye.